Hi everyone. So as you all know that Bangladesh, the neighbor country, is facing a really big challenge, the political crisis going on.
That the Bangladesh Prime Minister has resigned and left the country, her destination unknown. This comes as thousands of people have stormed the Prime Minister's residence.
After weeks of deadly protests and a dramatic shift in power, Bangladesh is now turning to this man. Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus will be heading an interim government after the ouster of five-time Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and the dissolution of parliament.
And the Prime Minister, the ex-Prime Minister now, Sheikh Hasina, just resigned. And the people of Bangladesh is very much happy because of this, because the whole protest is against Sheikh Hasina so that she resigned. And they are somehow winning the protest. And that's why they are happy. And they are defining it as their freedom, that they are now managing the democracy there. Now why democracy again? Being a democratic country, why the democracy is coming again there? So the question is, earlier it was not a democratic country or what? So there are a lot of questions that we normally face. We normally getting a lot of pop-ups in our daily news nowadays. Now the thing is, to understand this, we have a lot of angles, and that we are calling it the conspiracy angle. So one of the conspiracy angle of this whole protest is the conflict angle with Muhammad Yunus and Sheikh Hasina.
It couldn't be a more stark contrast to the reign of Sheikh Hasina, who was labelled an autocrat. 84-year-old Muhammad Yunus, who's known as the banker to the poor, will be aiming to bring stability to Bangladesh. He answered a call by student protesters to temporarily lead the country.
It's a celebration now all over Bangladesh that she has left. Now they're free from her. This was something that they're hoping someday will happen. The students made it happen.
Now why? What is the reason behind? So before deep dive with the conspiracy angle with Sheikh Hasina and Muhammad Yunus, let's understand the background first, why this protest happened actually, sparked actually. So this protest actually happened because of the quota system that actually there in Bangladesh for the freedom fighters family members. So now this quota actually is around 30%. The quota system was there to keep a job or keep a quota in the civil services there, jobs there. So that's actually resulting the unemployment of a huge portion of the population there. So youths like college and universities, the aspiring this civil services, and that's when they are not able to crack this job, and that resulting actually the unemployment rate is huge there. So that's why they started this protest to stop this quota system there. Okay, and earlier it was very difficult for students to say something against the government, because the government was very much structured towards this quota system, and they were not able to, they are against about to stop this quota system. So that's why it was a very big issue happened, and it is very difficult for students to change this actually. But from these people of Bangladesh are saying that this Hasina's government was not very transparent and not practicing the democratic system there. So since, and this happened since from last 5-10 years there. So that's why this actually cumulatively resulting this protest.
has the support of students whose movement led to Hasina's downfall. In July, a bunch of them demonstrated against a controversial quota system that allocated up to 30% of government jobs for family members of veterans from Bangladesh's 1971 War of Independence against Pakistan. Protesters argued that this system is discriminatory and favors supporters of Hasina's Awami League party. They advocated for a merit-based system to replace the existing quota. The protests turned violent on the 15th of July as students clashed with security officials and pro-government activists. Hasina's government responded by imposing a curfew with shoot-on-sight orders. Internet and mobile data were also turned off. As the violence intensified, Bangladesh's Supreme Court ruled that the veterans' quota must be cut to 5%, with 93% of jobs to be allocated on the basis of merit.
Now let's deep dive with the conspiracy angle. Now the biggest conspiracy angle is nothing but the conflict between Sheikh Hasina and Muhammad Yunus. And being a Nobel laureate, Muhammad Yunus is having a biggest fan followers in Bangladesh as well as globally also he having a very much fan following. And why not? Because he is the founder of Grameen Bank, and this Grameen Bank is nothing but the earlier it was a very innovative startup to give a microfinance to the poor people of Bangladesh so that they can get a minimum loan and get started some businesses. So it's a microfinance or giving a small loan to the poor people of Bangladesh. So this is how this whole model actually become very famous, become very applicable in modern economics, and that's how he got this Nobel.
Yunus is a social entrepreneur and banker who's best known for his pioneering microfinance work that helped alleviate poverty in Bangladesh. He began providing small loans out of pocket to the poorest in his community and eventually founded the Grameen Bank in 1983. The bank quickly grew with different branches and similar models now operating worldwide. Yunus and the Grameen Bank were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006 after lending nearly $6 billion in housing, student and micro-enterprise loans, and specifically in support of Bangladeshi women.
Now the thing is, in 2011, this Hasina government forced him to leave the position, leave him from his own bank as a founder, own bank, Grameen Bank. And one of the reason is the government, explained that, it is because he was taking so much of loan from central bank, and that's how the debt increased, and that's why they are not able to, pay it off, and that's how they are, somehow forced him to leave and, do this. So that actually sparked this whole conflict. Muhammad Yunus actually after that started saying against this government, Hasina's government, very obviously, right? And he is somehow advocating the dictatorship of this whole government, Hasina's government, and there was no transparency at that time. So that's why it was totally a dictatorship that was going on there. And this was actually very much dangerous. This is actually very much dangerous for a country like Bangladesh, and from there this conflict started actually. So being a very eminent person, a very respectable person and a Nobel laureate person, Muhammad Yunus was trying his level best to make it fixed. So that's why he actually started forming a government there, to make it fixed or to come up some solutions, because this only happened two type of approach. One is top-down approach, another is bottom-up approach, right? So bottom-up approach is nothing to solve any country's problem or issue. You can use bottom-up approach. All the citizens or populations need to be very serious and come again towards protest. So this happening now, but at that time Muhammad Yunus started this spark, and he actually wanted to do this from top-down approach to becoming a leader and then changing this. But Hasina's government was not allowed him to actually do this. So that's why this actually actually somehow it is saying that how much insecure the party was at that time because of this Nobel laureate.
Muhammad Yunus has been a long-time critic of Sheikh Hasina, and in 2007, he had briefly proposed forming a new political party ahead of parliamentary elections. Yunus ultimately did not move forward with the plan. Sheikh Hasina accused Yunus of using coercion and other methods to collect loans from poor rural women while he was at the helm of Grameen Bank. He refuted these allegations. In 2011, Bangladesh's government-controlled central bank removed Yunus as the managing director of Grameen Bank, claiming he had exceeded the mandatory retirement age. While going head-to-head with Hasina, Yunus was booked in more than 200 cases, including a defamation suit and allegations of tax irregularities. Yunus and his team said he was being unfairly targeted by authorities. In January, a court in Bangladesh sentenced Yunus to 6 months in prison for labor law violations. In a separate case in June, he was indicted on embezzlement charges. Hasina's government insisted the actions against him were not politically motivated.
And how they are coming up with some dictatorship, and they are even not allowing the opponent party, the largest opponent party, Khaleda Jia's party, to participate in the election event. So that's why it is not good for a democratic nation to not allowing to say or speak against this party. Okay, so in a democratic nation, it is very much important to at least allow the opponent also to speak. Okay, now the another conspiracy angle is from US, United States, because they don't wanted Sheikh Hasina's government to become more authoritarian with their policies and all. So that's why this is another angle. Okay, that's why this is this is saying that the US also supporting this movement. Now, when it comes to the present and the future government perspectives of Bangladesh, is that we got to know that Army Chief General Wakaruজ্জামান has announced interim government formation to run this country. Okay, now the student leaders requesting that to this Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus to lead the advising committee of this interim government formation. So far we got to know this, and we hope the best for this Bangladesh and their democracy. Thank you for watching.